The free demo for MOTORSLICE has arrived on Steam. I played it a little bit early and had a lovely time climbing, swinging, running, and chainsawing my way through this megastructure with our teal-haired protagonist, P. This is a work in progress. Anything and everything in the demo is subject to change, etc. So if you end up playing it and having some suggestions, then either put them in the comments or join the regular studio Discord server to directly give your feedback to the developers. So the rundown here is that P's job is to go to places and eliminate all the machines there. She uses a badass chainsaw to do so, which is why she's called a slicer. But this structure is ginormous, so she has to get creative with her traversal methods, and this is where the cool Prince of Persia movement is introduced. For the most part, the demo was a smooth experience, although I did run into this frustrating/funny part where P just wouldn't climb this object, instead launching herself into the void multiple times over, like 2 or 3 times before I learned my lesson and stopped running towards it at full speed. But overall, she did what I wanted her to do over 99% of the time. You may have gotten the vibe just from this footage and the dreamy aesthetic that the game is more on the floaty cinematic side rather than the super tight and responsive side in terms of controls. I did end up playing around with the camera sensitivity so it would be a bit quicker to spin around when I wanted it to, but part of the weirdness of MOTORSLICE is the fact that you, the player, are actually the game's camera. You control this floating orb with a glowing blue eye called Orby, and I guess you're supposed to encourage P to do her job / keep an eye on her. From time to time you'll find a small cluster of trees with a pop-up that says slack off, which prompts P to sit down and say what's on her mind. You can kind of flirt with her. I don't know, that part's pretty weird, and I definitely wasn't expecting P to have a voice, but these chats are just one of those things that make MOTORSLICE kinda odd. Another one is the combat. You kill in one hit and you die in one hit, so you have to attack during the perfect window after you get close enough and before each machine decides to strike you. When fighting multiple enemies, the camera, or Orby, or you, does snap around a lot, which can be disorienting, especially when another enemy is off on the other side of the screen. But the whole one hit with a chainsaw thing does make you feel pretty powerful when you nail it. In terms of exploration, this first level is linear. Not sure if things will open up further in the game or not. I'm guessing not, just because of the way that traversal is done. There's usually a series of obstacles set up in a specific way in front of you, holes to jump between, cracks to climb, or walls to run on, and it's usually pretty obvious where you're supposed to go next. There are some little nooks and crannies to poke around, including a few drone collectibles you can nab and bring back to a save point with you if you make it there without dying. All this while you take in some quite impressive views. Who built this giant construction site and then abandoned it? Who knows, but it does have some beautiful vistas. The biggest negative that I noticed while playing was just how dark it is in these indoor areas. You do have a light that you can turn on, but it just makes everything look so harsh that it kind of clashes with the otherwise smooth and colorful look of the game. Again, I tried to play around with some of the lighting settings, but this is kind of just how it looks. But perhaps the coolest thing that I have yet to mention is the boss fight at the end of the demo. It's a giant sentient dump truck that's hellbent on running you over. In order to beat it, you'll have to maneuver your way up and through this beast, climbing walls using your chainsaw and weakening it before eventually achieving victory. Some other fights have been teased in various trailers and they look just as cool, especially backed up by some original tunes produced by Pizza Hotline. If you've made it this far, then you've probably played the demo yourself or you're about to go download it, so I want to know, what do you think? Does this cinematic parkour platforming gel with you, or were you expecting something more snappy? It's definitely got some really cool platforming sequences and obviously nails down this slightly unsettling and liminal yet colorful vibe. There really isn't another game like MOTORSLICE out there. So hats off to the team at Regular Studio for doing things in their own style, and I'll see you all in the next video in my style.